Okay, welcome everyone. You got a practice semester test in your hands. This practice semester test is due on Monday, January 4th.
Are you guys working on it on Friday?
Yes, so you have to watch the video. So, yep, you'll see it right here. Okay, so I have the outline of what we're doing, so you can kind of see the next 5 days, because I think I sent an email out to parents. I think I even tagged you guys in the emails from yesterday, kind of warning you what the schedule is for the next couple days, what the testing is, when it is. It was just kind of nice to kind of openly communicate with some parents so they kind of are aware of things, so they're not, they're not in the dark about when you have a test, what it is. We're going to do a 5-day review. I'll post this review on my website as normal. So if you're not familiar with my website, you could go over to mrward.org or ghvmath.com or hsmath.org. There's a bunch of different addresses I own. You could scroll down to the bottom and see what we did that day. This is from yesterday, right? Or you can go at the top and at the daily lessons tab up here, you can go to consumer math and see all the videos we did throughout the year. These are all the videos. I think the only videos I didn't post were the week of like homecoming, because every class is shortened that week, so I didn't post them. But everything's there. I'll post the review like up here, and I'll make a separate category that says, semester review. And I'll post all 5 of those days right here on the website. So each day we'll have, the whatever number of problems we're doing. Like if you look back at my iPad screen here, we're doing 3 problems today. That's it, 3. Keeping it real simple. Okay, perfect. We're doing 3 problems today. Tomorrow, that's Friday, we're doing 2 questions. 2, that's it. Then Monday we'll do 2, Tuesday we'll do 2, and Wednesday we'll do 2, and that's all the practice guide right there. You can see them. The practice guide looks similar, I should say similar, not identical, but it's the same formatting as the semester test. It'll be the same number of questions, it'll be in the same layout, same question, titles, everything. So you know exactly what to expect. Just don't memorize this, right? You know it's going to be a different problem sitting there. You just know what you need to do. The whole point of this is just to get you comfortable so you're not overwhelmed by what all the questions are.
By doing the exact same problem.
Sometimes I've done that in years past. Kids still got it wrong. It's like, it's the same question. All right, anyway. Yeah, so the semester test for us, as you can see at the bottom, is on Tuesday. We're back on the Monday, January 4th. That's when you're going to turn this practice guide in to me. Now, you probably received an email from me this morning. It had a digital copy on there. That's in case you misplaced this. I know it happens. Sometimes you lose it, you misplace it. You're like, oh my God, I don't even know where it's at. I give you a digital copy online. If you don't have access to a printer, I know not everyone has access to a printer, you can just put on a little separate sheet of like notebook paper, just write down your work, and then just turn that in to me. I'm fine with that. So, because it happens. I know you're going to lose it at some point. So, but I like to give you the digital copy. It has the pictures there, just in case like you can't open the document or whatever. So, I'm trying to be as open as possible because this is worth a massive amount of points, this practice guide. I know a lot of these questions we do together. There's certain things like on certain days I'll have you finish the problem. So there's certain things you're going to have to do on your own to finish it up. Okay? But I want you to get comfortable with this and not be overwhelmed. Now, obviously, I know we're only doing like 3 or 2 problems a day, right? Depending what day it is. It's not a lot. We're going to have a lot of time where you can ask questions. We can go through other examples. If you want to see a different problem, maybe you didn't quite get it, you want another one, that's perfect. That's why I only assigned a couple problems a day. Now, here's the thing I need to warn you of. On Tuesday, when we take our semester test, right? That's the Tuesday, January 5th, when we take this thing, the real test. It's a 1-day test. You take it and it has to be done in class, okay? It's not a carryover like, hey, I'm going to finish it after school today. No, you can't, because I leave at 2 o'clock that day. So you have to get it done in class. So, sorry, just the way it worked out. At least I'm in class, because period 9 has a sub. And they have to take a test with a sub in the room. They'll be real happy about that when they find that out today. But yeah, so just be aware of that. Hopefully by the time we get to Monday, January 4th, you are more than prepared for this thing and you won't have to worry about it. You can watch the videos all break. I don't take them down ever. You know the drill. You'll have your practice guide. You'll have to turn in the practice guide. I know there's people that are going to complain. They're like, I want 1 more day to study this practice guide. The test is tomorrow. I want to take it home. You had it for 2 weeks. You have it from today through January 4th. I don't know if 1 more day is going to make the difference. If it does, just make a copy of it. take pictures of it and use that to study. I need this thing turned in Monday. Okay, make sense? So just kind of warning you of that. If for some reason any of you are online at that point, fine, let's do it like we always do. Take it online. We'll do it at the same time we do it in class. So you have to be logged in. You have to be zooming in during testing. So if you're not, technically it's a 0 until you take it, and I will enter a 0. So don't do that. So you can see the units we covered. We covered wages or earning money. We talked about purchasing a vehicle. We talked about traveling costs like Uber and maps and other things, and then we talked about the housing, mortgages and other things like that. Those are all the different units we've covered in this class so far up till now. I think we had homework due last night. I think we had an assignment due last night that was worksheet 4.4. It was on the meter reading. You had to turn that one in. We had a Google question of the day yesterday. It was to read a meter and tell what the total cost was for that meter. I think a lot of you just did it in class before you left, so that was good. So I don't think we had anything due tonight other than just working on this, right? You'll get points for this. There's a lot of points, so don't lose this thing, or don't just watch and not fill it out because it's worth too many points to do that. So hopefully you'll be prepared. Are we ready to go today, though? Sorry, I talked a lot. Sorry. And remember, this is an open question. That's why I only assigned 3 questions. I want to give you time to decompress and understand how to do the problem so you're not overwhelmed. I always find it funny when people complain about practice guides. They're like, Lord, this is a practice guide. It's stupid. It's not even the real test. Would you rather take a real test? I'd rather study it. So, yeah, I always find that a weird conversation because professors in college, they don't study. They don't give you practice guides. They tell you, hey, semester test is tomorrow. Oh, I haven't even studied yet. Okay, so... All right, so just kind of be prepared for that for the real world. I'm trying to overly prepare you here. All right, so we got 3 problems today. I'm going to try to keep it pretty easy. Once we're done, we're done. You can ask questions, you can relax, you can do whatever you need to at the very end. Maybe you got to finish up some stuff on Google Classroom. Remember, all late work is due by next Wednesday. That is the 0 date for everything by next Wednesday. That is a week from yesterday because that's the last day before winter break, right? On everything. So check your JMC, check your Google Classroom. I think I got to go in there today. I forgot to go this morning and delete all the stupid secondary assignments. It keeps making doubles of everything. Every single day it does it. It drives me nuts. If I let that thing go, there'd be 100 assignments in that grade book. And they'd just all be blanks. I don't know why it keeps doing it to me. But yeah, so let's kind of go through here. The first one, we have total wages. So you have to worry about overtime pay, time and a half, double time. I'm gonna have the hint printed for you, this hint, so that you know that Sundays and holidays on this particular problem will be double time pay. That's not normal around here anyway. Sundays are not a double pay kind of a day. It's just a normal work day for most people. So this book is kind of old school that way. But then use the time and a half for any overtime. That's if you go over 40 hours on a normal work week. All right, so Keith is earning $10.42 an hour. It's quite a bit. Well, I think it is. And then he's working 43 hours from Monday to Friday. So we have to break that up. 43 hours from Monday to Friday. So did Keith work any overtime? Yeah, he did. So he worked a full 40 hours in that week and 3 hours overtime so far. Okay, normal overtime, Monday to Friday. He also works 6 hours on Sunday. So that is that's double pay. 6 hours on Sunday. So when I do these problems, I make 3 categories. I make 3 columns. The normal hours, the overtime, and then anything if there's a holiday or Sundays. So that's how I always make my 3 columns. I would strongly suggest when you get to your semester test, you do the same thing. You make your 3 columns. But does everyone understand how I broke up that 43? Now, if you didn't get to 40 hours, then you didn't work overtime, so you wouldn't maybe have the middle column, let's say. So that's only if you worked past 40 hours. I mean, you could work Tuesday through Saturday, maybe not even get 40 hours, so that wouldn't be overtime. But Sunday on this particular case would be double time. So now, what I'm going to do next is figure out what the pay is going to be. So on normal hours, what does Keith get paid?
10:42.
10.42. Okay. So he gets $10.42 per hour. Okay. On overtime, he would get pay and a half. So that means that'd be the 10.42 times full pay 100% and an extra half. So 1.5. So it's $10.42 times 1.5. That's time and a half. And then on the Sunday or holiday, he's getting double pay. So 10.42, and you have to double that. That's a pretty good paycheck for that 6 hours on Sunday. So let's do some of the math here. So for the normal hours, you just multiply these two together. So does anyone need a calculator? Anyone need one? Anyone? Okay, here you go. Just make sure on semester test day, if you guys bring a calculator, you know how to use it. Or if you're borrowing one from me, you know how to use it. Because on semester test days or testing days in general, I don't show you what to type in. So just be careful of that, or how to use your calculator. So make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna multiply that. So somebody, did somebody actually in here take 40 times 10.42? What do we get?
416.8.
Yeah, so 416.8. So far, Keith has made $400. That's pretty good, and that isn't even considering his overtime or the Sunday, which is gonna be huge. That's a lot of pay for Sunday. Okay, so he's already made $400. All right, so let's do the middle column. Let's do let's do this overtime. The 1042 times 1.5, and then whatever that price is, that was the what is that number? 1563. So Keith is making $15 an hour, almost $16 an hour for this extra overtime, and you have to multiply that by 3 because he worked 3 hours at $15 an hour. So, times 3, what are we getting? $46.89. So we got an extra $46 just for 3 hours of work. That ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. And last, the last column here, we have to double Keith's pay for this holiday and Sunday. So Keith is going to be making $20.84 an hour. That is a really good paycheck. And we worked for 6 hours, right?
125.04 cents.
So, say it again?
125.04 cents.
Yep, 125.04 cents. Okay. Is there any questions with how I got each of these numbers so far? We're good? Okay. All right. So then the last thing that I'm going to do here, is add these up and figure out what the total is for Keith. Keith is making some serious cash this week. So $416.80 plus the $46.89 and add the $125.04. So we did all the math. We added them all up. What is Keith's total pay? 0.73. That's a monster paycheck. That's a pretty good paycheck in 1 week. I think it is anyway. You can buy some of the new Apple AirPod Max with that. They're stupidly expensive.
Are you gonna give it to him?
No, not at $500. I'll wait till somebody on those like secondhand markets trying to sell them. I'll pick them up cheap. I want to try them. I want to see what they sound like. But I'm not gonna pay $500 for a pair of headphones that doesn't even have planar magnetic, or high codec sound in them. They're just normal Bluetooth speakers or headphones. They look cool, but not $500 cool. I mean, God, you could buy a pair of Bose headphones. You could get an iPad and the cheaper AirPods for the same price. That's a pretty good setup.
You could do a lot with $580.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But then you're not calculating the tax in there that they put on it.
Nah, that's true. Okay, questions on the first one though. Okay, this one, I think out of the first three questions, I think this one takes the longest out of the first three that we're doing today. Just because there's so many little things you have to do and you have to remember what to do, right? The time and a half or the double pay. You may not have one of those categories because maybe you're only working Sunday, so it's only double time pay. Or maybe you're just working a normal week, but you didn't make overtime, you didn't work Sunday. So maybe you just have the first column and you don't have to worry about it. So you just have to calculate. So just be prepared for whatever I provide you. It'll be a problem similar, some little fake story, and you go and calculate what their pay is. And by the way, these are all homework problems. I'm not making up problems. If you haven't noticed this is an example that we've done previously on homework. That's all I did. I went in the book and just picked out problems. So something basic. I don't want to make up something that's stupid that you guys have never seen before. So, all right, second problem today. Second problem. This one's way easier than the last one. Okay, so this particular question is about commission. You're going to make commission on sales. So your commission rate on this particular sale, you're selling some serious item. You're selling something for $670,000. Maybe it's farm equipment. Maybe you're selling a combine. And you're getting 6.6% commission on that sale, and you also made $150 in salary. So maybe they pay you per hour, a couple bucks per hour, and you put a couple hours in during the work week. So you made $150. Not a lot that week because you make all your money on commission. That's how it works in sales. So how this works, you just need to multiply these two together. Now, before you multiply those, what do I have to do with that percent?
Decimal.
Yeah, you have to move the decimal. What is this as a decimal?
0.066.
Yeah, you have to move that decimal over 2 spots, 0.066. You're absolutely right. And that's what I'm going to multiply on this monster. Say it again? What was that? Oh, wait, I thought somebody said 0.66, 670,985. Ooh, what are we getting here, guys?
448701.
44. Did I have a different number? What did you get?
Hold on.
I got 442,850.0.
This is what I had. 44,285.
Yeah.
4.28,
Yeah, I typed it wrong. That's
Okay. Yeah. That's a huge paycheck.
But then you didn't add the 150.
And yeah, we're not done yet. You're absolutely right. The last thing you have to do is add your salary. So you're adding your $150 salary in, the measly $150 now when you compare them. And my total.
44,435.01.
Yeah. That's a pretty monstrous paycheck.
Yeah.
For one sale.
For one sale. And that's realistic, not joking. You work in farm equipment sales, you make some serious money. Now, auto car sales doesn't make that type of money. They make a few $100 here and there on every car you sell. It's pretty good if you're selling a lot of cars during the summer. They don't really sell it too well in the winter. But on farm equipment, you can make a huge slang in the beginning of
They
the
go
year.
and buy stuff during the winter.
Yeah, and exactly, like right before the end of the year, farmers are going to go buy something. They have to spend their money before they get taxed on it, so they can write off on taxes later if they were to use their money that they made throughout the year. Smart to do it. I mean, they can buy a truck and they'll get paid for buying the truck. So, and that's how farming works. They have a whole class in college just on taxes for farmers. You have to actually take a class
That's what
on it.
businesses do. They write it off on their farm.
Yeah, it's super
when
smart.
they buy vehicles, they just write it off on their farm since they own the one outside town.
Yep, and that's what you do. You have to spend the money so that you can report that you make less money throughout the year and you get taxed less. You're getting paid for buying a car. So it's wild. Farming is pretty lucrative, but you have to be a pretty substantial farmer. You can't just say that you're a farmer. You have to actually show the equipment and make the profits on it. So, yeah, that's one sale. That's more than what people make in a couple of years sometimes if you're working a minimum wage job. Sales is pretty lucrative, but you have to be good at what you do. Now that you're not going to get that type of sale every year. Maybe every other year. Maybe get lucky and get a couple times a year. Holy moly, you make some serious money that year. But you got to pay taxes. So and that's what the next question is based on. All right, questions on this one. Okay, I probably won't have a story problem on this. Not like the last one where it's like Keith made this, blah blah blah. I'm not going to have that. It'll be just something real cut dry. Make a sale, do commission, make some salary, add to it. Okay. What I recommend when you're doing these problems, like when you get to it on the test, I recommend like you show me this stuff. Like you're showing me where these numbers are coming from. Like I can see where their decimal is. I can see what numbers you're adding together. You're not showing me all the work, but you're showing me kind of what you're doing. Because if you just have an answer in that total spot and it's not right, I don't know what you did. So try to show something on this one, and especially like the last one, to show kind of where your numbers are coming from. That's what I'm a little scared of. You got to show something so that if I need to go back and fix, or make grades, I don't want to count all the points off because you didn't show me any work. So, all right, last problem. This is the absolute last one today. I said we're going to do 3 problems today, and then you'll have the rest of the time where you can just kind of work. This is that tax problem. So that farmer made their sales. Now they're going to pay the taxes on it. So how this works, I want to kind of rate this. Your gross pay, I'm going to put a line here. Your gross pay is the paycheck before taxes come out. It's what they report. So like when you look at the newspapers, and for all public employees, including myself and all employees at school and hospital workers and firemen and police officers and all that, they're public servants, same with your senators and stuff. They have to report their salary somewhere. It has to be public knowledge. You can research it. So in the newspaper once a year, they print all the teacher salaries, all the administrator salaries. They do it every year. That's gross pay when they're reporting. That isn't what taxes come out. Those numbers they report look huge. They look awesome until you see that we get like 1/3 of that in cash. So, because they take out a ton for taxes. Now, for gross pay, you have this, and then all these other numbers, there's a couple different ways you could do this. I would add all these numbers up, like Medicare, health insurance, Social Security, state tax, federal tax. I would add those numbers up, and you're going to subtract them off the gross pay. So, when I add these numbers up, the 4552, the 1962, the 2499, the 584, the 2660, what do we get? What number are we getting when we add up the federal tax, state tax, Social Security, Medicare, and health insurance? What do you get when you add those numbers?
$104.57.
Yep, $122.57. Okay, so that's what we're getting when we add those numbers up. Now, that number is just these numbers, right? We have to subtract that off of my gross pay. Right, so here's my gross paycheck. We have to subtract all those deductions. And so when you subtract that, what are we getting? $280.43.
Yep.
And that's your total for your paycheck. They always say, like, when you get your first job, right? You know what you make per hour. You know how many hours you're going to be working. Hopefully, that's a steady pay for you, and it's not just kind of random when you get hours. Once you start getting that paycheck, you'll start to figure out, how much taxes they take out. There's this really nasty thing that you don't think about that, takes place, that sometimes it doesn't matter the hours you work because the taxes jump at different levels. So to give you an example of a real life example, when I was in college, I worked at Larson Manufacturing in Clear Lake, right? That was my summer job. They paid a ton of money for a summer gig. It's like $5,000 just to work for a few weeks in the summer. It was awesome. And the thing is, it didn't matter how many hours sometimes I put in. Sometimes I put in 40 hours a week. Sometimes I put in 50. When the taxes came out of my paycheck that week, I always got the same paycheck. because when I worked 50 hours a week, they taxed me more because I was making more money. That's how taxes work, right? They scale it on how much you make. So I would get, my paycheck that week. It was $500-600, right? Well, when I worked 40 hours, I made $500-600 because the taxes were lower. So that's the weird thing you got to think about when you go into a job is sometimes the taxes coming off will balance, and you'll still get the same paycheck. So why would you even want to work the extra overtime? It's like wasting your time. So that's something you got to think about. Now, obviously, it looks terrible when you go to your employer and you're like, I'm not working overtime. I'm not going to do it, right? You can't tell them that sometimes. It's a part of the job. But you can lay it out there. Like, I don't make any extra money by doing 10 hours overtime here. In fact, I'm just working for free, if you think about it. You might get it back in taxes, in January, but it's not going to be the amount that you think. Yeah, it's not going to be the exact money you just lost. So that's something to think about. It's a real life issue when you start working like in the real world. You start to see that type of stuff. Now, for me, like here at the school, I don't worry about that. I get a salary a year. Like they just give me a set salary. I put in 14-hour days here some days. I don't make any extra money. So, I'm here from, this morning I was here at 6, and I'm going to be here until 4 today, probably. So, it didn't make me any extra money doing that. So, all right, questions?
No.
All right, that's it for today. So, pretty easy. I'm going to stop the recordings here. If you have any questions each day,